Look, I didn't mean to do it. Blind you with the jab, love the throwing from the shoulder. Joint high after I roll a pot shot like a stoner. Dispenser from the corner, heat you up like a sauna. Hot boxing mirror, ooh, hold up. I got the news, pull up. I never cap fast hands like I'm Zab, boy. Let me shoot the jab. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, the adult. Alright, man, look. On this episode of Shoot the Jab, we will be discussing before and after Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. Now we will be looking at an inexperienced Canelo Alvarez versus the Philly Shell, and a more experienced Canelo Alvarez in his prime now versus the Philly Shell. Now, in no way is this episode of Shoot the Jab proof that a prime Canelo Alvarez would have defeated a Floyd Money Mayweather. But it does give weight to the question, what if? Now, if this is your first time visiting the channel, please hit the subscribe button for more videos. So look, on the night, like the night where Floyd Mayweather defeated Canelo Alvarez, Floyd Mayweather said this.
Experience tonight played a major key. Just a lot of experience. Experience. Yeah. You know, at this big stage, and making adjustments and knowing how to adapt. He will be champion again.
And he couldn't have been more right. Let's look at Canelo Alvarez, how he approached the Philly Shell when taking on Floyd Money Mayweather that faithful night. Look at how Canelo Alvarez is impatient, throwing punches from too far away. A lot of his combinations are starting at the head. And when he did go to the body, he did not believe in going to the body, right? He did not build that foundation that can pay off in the later rounds. Canelo Alvarez was young, throwing a lot of punches to the head, looking for that one shot to hurt Floyd Money Mayweather. But against a champion, a legend, an all-time great, and experienced Floyd Money Mayweather, he knew exactly how to catch the punches, use his footwork, dip, slip, and slide, everything that Canelo Alvarez was dishing out that night. Floyd Money Mayweather was absolutely right. Canelo Alvarez was inexperienced, impatient, and depended a lot on his power, not knowing how to cut off the ring, not knowing how to do the little things, and not knowing that patience is a virtue. Also, that the best approach to the Philly Shell isn't to try to land significant punches, right? Punching around the Philly Shell, but punching through the Philly Shell, breaking down the block, hitting the shoulder, the elbows, the biceps of that lead arm. Since that fight, Canelo Alvarez, he learned a lot, taking on slick fighters like Lara, Austin Trout, and Billy Joe Saunders. And when Canelo took on Caleb Plant for Undisputed at 168, everything came together. His experience, his patience, his approach, and his performance. Look at Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant being a slick, quick fighter and using the Philly Shell. Now, Canelo Alvarez put a game plan in place to build the foundation in order to break down Caleb Plant and knock him out in the later rounds. Look at here how Canelo Alvarez is cutting off the ring, being extremely patient, right? Against the Philly Shell, against slick fighters with the Philly Shell, patience is a virtue. Also, Canelo Alvarez was beginning his combinations with hooks to the body. That's right. And look at how he uses that lead left arm, not as a jab, but to disturb Caleb Plant. He used that left arm as leverage and to put Caleb Plant where he wants him to be. Now, this is throwback, right? This is a throwback approach, like the days of Joe Louis, the days of Jersey Joe Walcott. Canelo Alvarez using that lead hand to land big shots to the body of Caleb Plant, building that foundation. Many of Canelo Alvarez's combinations started with the body. And Canelo Alvarez did not throw punches until he was close enough, using his footwork more than anything. Being defensively responsible, dipping his head, keeping his chin tucked, not being too eager because the Philly Shell was set up that way, to roll punches and to counter. Many times Canelo Alvarez would throw one punch at a time instead of those flurries from too far away. Hooks to the elbows, to the shoulders, all those things, break it down the Philly Shell, break it down the reflexes of Caleb Plant. And it was after Canelo Alvarez built that foundation that he was able to throw more combinations and start head hunting to get Caleb Plant out of there. Eventually, Canelo Alvarez will stand on that foundation, start looking at the body with the body shots that he set up earlier in the fight, and landing these devastating hooks to the head of Caleb Plant. Those faithful words from Floyd Money Mayweather.
Experience. Yeah. You know, at this big stage, and making adjustments and knowing how to adapt. He will be champion again.
aged beautifully. Canelo Alvarez now, as an experienced fighter, as a prime fighter, you can definitely say he knows how to deal with the Philly shell, break down the Philly shell, and deal with slick fighters. Now, once again, I'm not saying that Canelo Alvarez would have beaten Floyd Money Mayweather prime for prime. I'm just saying now there's weight to the question, what if? Thanks for shooting the jab with the biz. ShowBizz the adult. I'm out.